video, I'm going to tell you how to solve Fibonacci number question in Leetcode. First of all, let's start with our basics. How does this Fibonacci number is and how do we find it? There are two numbers which are starting and they are 0 and 1. Generally, how a Fibonacci number of the next term is calculated is by adding the sum of previous two, which is f of n equal to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. So in this question, initially they defined what is Fibonacci number and what is Fibonacci sequence and how each term is calculated, which is sum of preceding two terms. This Fibonacci starts at 0 and 1. And this is the formula which we discussed here. This is the formula. And now coming to the example cases which they have given here. The first one, n is equal to 2. So n is equal to 2. That implies we need to calculate f of 2, which is found by adding 2 minus 1th term and 2 minus 2th term, which gives adding of f of 1 plus f of 0. So the value of 1 and 0 were these two. The value of 1 is 1 and value of 0th term is 0. By adding these two, we get 1, which is the output. And in a similar way, for n equal to 3, n equal to 3, we need to calculate it using the same formula, f of 3 equal to f of 3 minus 1 plus f of 3 minus 2, which gives us f of 2 less f of 1. Here we found f of 2 value, which is 1 less f of 1 value is here. In the question itself, you can find it. It's 1. So adding these two, we get 2. So in this value, we need to calculate the output. To approach this problem, n constant is also given as 30. So the maximum n value which can be asked again in the question would be 30. This problem can be solved using two approaches. One is iterative and the second one is recursion. So let's discuss both the approaches. First, I'm going to write a function def Fibonacci number of n. So here we'll be taking the input. In Leetcode, we are having the question in this form. So now we are going, in Leetcode, we are going to have a format to write code, which is given here. We are going to write code in a class format. Here in Leetcode, it is class solution and then def fab. This is function definition. Here we are using self because we are writing a function inside a class. So we need to use self, then n, int, and which gives an output of int type. Now let's write the code of iterative approach. So this is the way in which we can write iterative approach for this number. Initially, we are going to take two edge cases because by default in Fibonacci, the first two numbers are 0 and 1. For these two numbers, we need not perform any kind of calculations. And so I'm going to use this. Actually, this is not needed here. If n equal to 0, we are going to directly return 0. And if n equal to 1, we are going to return 1. The next numbers, that is n, when it's from 2 to n. Here in the question, we can see that the constant for n is still 30. So from 2 to 30, we are going to follow this approach to get the result. See here, what's happening is we are going to define previous and current. This is f of n minus 2 is for previous, and for current, this f of n minus 1. So for 2 to n, for example, let's take the example case which is 3 in our question. So when it's 3, it enters this else condition. And here we are going to calculate next. Next would be like initially adding previous and next. We get it as 1, 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So what is happening is in place of previous, that is in place of f of n minus 2, we are going to put current. Current is here 1. 1 is going to be placed here. And then in place of f minus 1, that is in place of current, it's going to be next. Next is what we calculated here, that is 1. And now our current and previous would be like, previous is 1 and current would be 1. Now again going into loop, since it is 2 to 3 over here, is going to calculate for 2 and for 3. So for 3, 2 to 3 indicates only for 2 we are going to calculate because upper boundary is exclusive in case of range function. For 2, we have calculated it as 1. So this would be a result. So in this way, this code is going to be executed. Now let's go to recursive approach. Now coming to the recursive approach. Recursive approach, the first two conditions are same as in this thing. As you can see, the first two here, this part and this part are exactly same in two approaches. So next, what changes is the else condition. Here, if you can see, let's move this down. Give me a minute, I'll just move this. Now, what changed is the else condition. In case of iterative approach, we are using two extra variables, which is previous and current, and even next. But in case of recursion, we are not having these three extra variables, so it reduces our space complexity. And here, initially, we are taking the same 0 and 1. For example, let's take 3 in this approach. So it goes into else condition, and it's going to return fib of 2 plus fib of 1. So it goes into the loop, then calculates fib of 1 and fib of 2, then returns f of 3. Going into the loop again for f of 2, it's going to return f of 1 plus f of 0. So here f of 1 would be 1 and for 0 it's going to 1. So this result is going to go to f of 2 and this is 1 here. So adding these two, f of 3 would be 2. So in this way, we are going to get f of 3 in recursion. So these are the two kind of approaches in which you can approach the Leetcode problem of 509 Fibonacci number. If you have any specific question you are requesting me to explain, then please comment. Thank you.